Okay, so when talking about trigonometric graphs and equations, we talked about this at the beginning of last year. The only thing that I'm really adding is the cosecant, secant, and cotangent. But the best way for y'all to learn about these is just to go through experimenting with the different transformations and how they affect each graph. How people come up with the graphs is you're just plotting the values of the unit circle and then connecting them. But as far as moving the midline, so the midline is what splits your wave in half. So on this graph, I'll do it in yellow. I know that's not as easy to see, but here, the origin is your midline because it splits the graph in half. When you add a value to the end, it should move it up or down. The period is the distance for one full rotation. So each of these pictures is one period. So the amplitude is how high the wave goes from the midline, so from here to here. And then a phase shift is the horizontal shifts to the left or the right. And the way you find those is by plugging in values. The best way to learn about this is just to experiment with it until you understand it and do some practice problems. So I've assigned Delta Math for you to do. I would recommend filling out this chart using Desmos. So you can just experiment what happens when you make a large positive value. What about when it's a fraction? What about when it's negative? What happens? And so you'll just change one thing at a time to either sine, cosine, or tangent, or any of the reciprocal functions of cosecant, secant, or cotangent. And once you fill that chart out and have worked on your delta math, then it should be pretty easy. The trig graph discovery, I think, is probably the one you should do probably first on delta math. It should help you figure out what you need to be doing for each type of question. So yeah. So I would do the trig discovery. So now it's posted. It's up there for you. You just saw me post it. But now, as far as the IB questions, we're going to do what we did last time. I'm going to assign different problems to each person. So I will do that now. So question 1, let's see who gets it. Question 1 is going to be Liz. Question 2 is going to be Sonia. Question 3 is Leonard. Question 4 is Rohan. And then into the second section now, right? So that's question 4. So into the second section, we have question 1. Leonard already had one, so let's try someone else. Is Bella. Question 1 is Bella. Question 2 is Tomas. Question 3 is Jacqueline. Question 4 is Andrew. And that means that question 5 is knock. That should be 9 questions for 9 people. And then everybody needs to do, this question 1 exercise 6Q. Everybody should do that one. I encourage everyone. Rohan got question 4. Make sure everybody, I would take a chance to look at that. Again, make sure you have your answers prepared and ready to present on tomorrow, on Thursday. Okay. So I know that was a really short lesson, and honestly, I didn't necessarily teach as much, but this is an exploration that I think will help you. Once you fill out that chart, that should be your notes, but we can go over that if y'all have any questions about it. But it is, I think, pretty straightforward, and we've done it before last year. Okay. So make sure you comment on the video if you haven't already, and I will see you all tomorrow.